All right, Derek. So I know a big thing we kind of talked about earlier was contact and the relationship between the putter face and the ball and ball position. So this is a really good visual, and it'll give you instant feedback to kind of use in your practice routines. But basically, what I have here is I have 2 quarters, and we talked about the ascending strike. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stack those 2 quarters on top of each other, and I'm just gonna set them right here in front of my golf ball.
Okay.
We're gonna set the golf ball right up on the front of them, in between the hole. So what this will do, we talked about having the ball forward and ascending strike. So basically what this is going to do, you're going to take your normal setup. Now with that ball in the front of your stance, off your shirt logo, if you have a descending putting stroke, then you're going to hit the ball kind of high on the putter face, and you're going to see the quarters knock over.
Okay.
Versus with the ascending strike, your putter head should miss the 2 balls, and then you should get that nice, even, consistent roll. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that for you real quick. So I'm going to take my normal setup. Set one more up. One more. But I'm missing the quarters. That's the big thing. And there it is. So I'll go ahead, I'll get you to hit 2 putts, and then we'll just kind of see what you think from there. So. It's all right. Good. So kind of give me some feedback. What did you think about that? Could you feel the difference? Did you think it helped you out any?
Yeah, it felt a lot more center. I
Okay.
think that would definitely help with getting more consistent as contact on the face and getting more center contact.
Absolutely.
I think I hit better. I mean, my putts would start on line more often.
Absolutely, and I liked it too. That last one, I mean, real consistent tempo and real consistent strike. So very good, real good. So Derek, I'm gonna do a quick. So Derek, I'm gonna do a quick demonstration for you, real quick. I see this a bunch. A lot of amateur players. Both high handicap and real low handicap, even scratch. You see a lot of guys. They get around the green and they just automatically grab the most lofted club in their bag. They always reach for the 58 or the 60 or the 62. So I'm going to kind of do a quick explanation. So for this shot right here, you kind of got some green to work with. And you got 2 shots you're really looking at. You got your lofted shot. You got a higher trajectory, softer. It's going to hit softer.
Yeah.
And it's not going to roll out as much. I also like to mix it up and throw in an 8-iron with kind of a putting stroke. And for this kind of shot, I really like to get the ball in the green and get it rolling out to the hole.
Okay.
So I'm gonna demonstrate the 2 kind of shots here. So first, I'm gonna hit the 58, and you're gonna kind of see, the high loft and the minimal roll, which is not really what you want on this kind of shot. So.
Okay.
High, minimal rollout. There's a little heavy, a little inconsistent, especially on these tight lies. Which is really why I like to get it and get it rolling quick. So now I have the 8-iron, which is a little more. You can kind of judge it a little better, and kind of a little more consistency with contact and get it finishing at the hole.
Okay.
So I'm gonna set it up. My wide base, weight slightly forward, but I'm thinking putting stroke here. I'm not thinking a short game shot.
Okay.
Or like a standard chip shot. I'm thinking just a nice smooth putting motion. Shoulders here.
And this right here, you're just trying to get it rolling as quick as possible.
Right. You're just trying to get it on the green and get it rolling. You got plenty of green to work with. You can kind of judge the distance a little better by getting it on the ground and getting it going first. So let me see if I can. it's on the hits, gets right on the green and instantly starts rolling.
Yeah.
And with this, you can kind of judge slope and break a little better. Getting it started where you want it to start out.
You're not worried about where it's going to bounce once in the lane.
Exactly. So let me see one more. Kind of the same thing, just a little softer. But just think about that. That's a big thing. I think it can help your game, and it'll add some diversity in your short.
Okay.
So cool. All right, Derek. So what I want to do for you here, I know earlier I kind of briefly mentioned, we were going to work a little bit on trajectory and different kind of bunker shots. So just like the short game, for this particular shot, and you see a lot of times on the golf course in your round, is you'll have a bunker shot, but you got tons of green to work with. So you don't really have to hit a high soft shot, just like we kind of talked about, on a standard chip shot. When you don't have a lot of green to work with, you need a high soft shot. If you got a lot of green, you kind of want to play a bump and run. So same principle applies out of the bunkers. So what I have here, I'll kind of demonstrate for you real quick. But I have a 54-degree wedge. I think you grabbed 56. So yeah, I mean that's really, this shot doesn't really require a lob wedge or sand wedge. You kind of want a 54, 56, kind of that mid wedge range.
Yeah.
The big thing for this shot is it kind of goes against what we said earlier, about keeping the face open.
Yeah.
Keep the club accelerating, because we want this thing to come out low and we want it to roll. So instead of that wide open stance that we talked about earlier, I'm gonna set up in a little more athletic stance. Legs a little about shoulder width apart.
Okay.
Now, club face is a big thing here. We're not gonna open that face. We're gonna keep it square.
Okay.
So neutral grip, square club face, ball slightly forward. But the big thing here, instead of that short back swing and keep it accelerating through to a high finish, we're gonna think about sticking the club in the ground and finishing real low. So that ball will come out low and roll out. So I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate for you one real quick. Hopefully we can get it to come out right. Let's see. So just like that. So just a nice low trajectory. It's gonna hit and run out to the hole, and hopefully it'll leave you, some closer putts for par, opposed to the high spinny shots. So. All right, Derek. So one thing that I try to get with most of my students is you really want to maximize your distance, enhance your contact.
Yeah.
And distance isn't everything, but it definitely makes the game a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna demonstrate a quick thing of like what I think of when I play, and I kind of teach it to my students too, to help them as well.
All right.
So you want to switch sides with me?
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit in one of the earlier sections about you really want your upper body to to act as that first lever.
Yeah.
To kind of help you maximize your distance in your contact. So basically, this is a quick, I guess you can call it a little drill or a reminder that I like to think of. And you want to think of it as showing your back to the target.
Okay.
So this will help you, be able to create a full turn, or a good reminder, create a full turn. So I usually step back and pick a specific target. We'll go to the tree here, for instance. And I'll usually take my, take my grip, take my setup, check my target. Now, in the takeaway, you want to think about your back, and you want it at the top here to be pointing at the target. Okay. Now, if you show your back to the target, you usually create an efficient amount of turn in the hips, in the torso. So I'll go ahead and kind of generate to demonstrate that. So I'm taking the club back and I'm checking it.
Yeah.
And my back's clearly at the target. So then we'll take it back down, and then we'll make the full swing with that thought process. So. Just like that, it's something good, you can take into your your range sessions, your practice routines, and it'll really help you transition over into the game. So
Great.
all right, Derek. So in the lesson opening, you really talked about a couple of trouble shots you kind of struggle with. We looked at the punch shot already a little bit and kind of talked about some setup and some swing thoughts and stuff like that. But another one you mentioned was like the 1 foot out of the bunker.
Yeah.
Kind of some weird lie angles around the green. And in our short game lesson, we talked about different kind of bunker shots you want to hit here. So for this one, this one's pretty stock and standard bunker shot. You're just trying to get this ball up and get it on the green. You got a little bit of green to work with, but for the most part, you got a long way to go till you get to the green. So you kind of want to hit something a little higher.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and kind of demonstrate and kind of explain to you setup and such. So first of all, we're up against the lip. So the first thing you want to do is check where can you get a stance at to get it on the green. You don't necessarily have to go to the flag stick. You just need to get it out of the bunker. So you can go out right, you can go out left, whichever one. Fortunately for us here, when I take my stance, we got enough room that allows us to get the ball and go directly at the flag.
Right.
So, big thing here is we still want to keep the ball positioned off our left shirt collar.
Okay.
We obviously can't take a stance back here, otherwise we're going way left of the flag.
Yeah.
And we're kind of up against this lip. So I'm gonna drop 1 foot back.
Okay.
Now, the key here, you'll see a lot of people when they get in this position, they kind of get, a little too much weight over on this left side. The shoulders aren't aligned. The main key with hitting this kind of shot is to get your shoulders back in line with the ground. That'll allow you to deliver the club head consistently and make that consistent contact back behind the ball like we had talked about earlier.
Okay.
So, neutral grip, ball forward. We're going to open up the face slightly. I got 1 foot back. You just want to get in a position where you have a real sturdy base.
Okay.
So I'm going to set up, and I'm going to make sure my shoulders are aligned, and I'm just going to try and get this sucker back in play. See if I can pull one off for you.
Good shot.
Thank you. And basically, that's what you're looking for. So, big takeaway is just make sure you got a firm base set, and then get those shoulders back in line.
Okay.
And then everything from there is just pretty much your stock and standard bunker shot.